Hello and what is up YouTube, it's me Rahul, and today we're going to go over another post-rotation deck video. I know I've already gone over 3 of these videos, and so you've already known, if you've been watching, that there's no Evolving Skies here, so we can't really tell what's actually going to be good, but there's a good staple to know what is actually going to, get us there in a couple of months. Like, not everything can change entirely. One set doesn't make or break a format. We already have our staple supporters, etc., etc. So today we're going to go over a Single Strike Urshifu VMAX deck. I don't know why I said Tyranitar. It's in the deck. I kind of spoiled that a little bit. But if you're enjoying the content, obviously like, subscribe. The support really means a lot to me. There is a 10K tournament in New Jersey on August 7th that will be played. I will try to get some IRL play footage. I will try to be getting a tournament report of what I play, how I do. Specifically, I am playing. I did decide to play. My family wants to do a vacation right after in New York, so it kind of worked out perfectly for me. So I'll be up there playing myself. The video that I posted last time, the Rapid Strike Urshifu video with Galarian Moltres, is probably my top pick at the current moment, but we saw a lot of shakeups in the current metagame. Things change very quickly, and with very few card pools and a lot of VMAXs being very strong, we can kind of see how things are going. Keep in mind, again guys, that this list is not going to be completely perfect, and this list is not going to be the best, I guess, going into post-rotation. Things are going to change, but for this deck specifically with Single Strike Tyranitar or Urshifu, I don't know why I said Tyranitar again, it's probably going to be one of the stronger decks that keeps its retention. So let's jump into it so we can talk about it. So Single Strike Houndoom, what does this card do? Single Strike Roar. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Single Strike energy card attached to one of your Single Strike Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. If you attach an energy to the Pokemon this way, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So the entire deck synergizes around 4/4 line of Single Strike Houndoom, accelerating energy onto your board. If you guys have been playing Pokemon for a little bit, last couple months since Battle Styles came out, you know that Single Strike Urshifu was one of the better decks that we talked about, but really fell flat on its face after the format started. Everyone thought the deck was going to do really, really well, but then all of a sudden, ADP was just better than it. Rapid Strike just outshone it. It just kind of fell to the wayside. And now when we're playing in a Psychic-heavy metagame, all of a sudden, the deck has once again fallen to the wayside. But I think post-rotation, having something that can one-shot another opposing VMAX without having weakness typing is really, really, really strong because, one-shots are not going to be very easy to come by in the post-rotation format. I've been testing a little bit, playing around a little bit. One-shots are really hard. Everyone's going to be playing a weird 2-shot game, so healing cards, playing like this long-term game where you're counting out your damage counters, planning out like 2-3 turns in advance how you want to kind of take the scope of your 6 prizes is really complicated. So why not just one-shot them with G-Max 1-Blow and Single Strike Urshifu VMAX? Urshifu VMAX has 2 attacks, beat down for 100, and then for fighting colorless, G-Max 1-Blow, 270 damage. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack's damage is not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's also a shred, but it's a really heavy shred, so you're probably not shredding with this guy. To be completely honest, you've Houndoom to shred, honestly. But he does a ton of damage. Now you're thinking, Rahul, 270 is not enough with your 4/3 line of Urshifu. Well, that's where you're wrong, guys. Single Strike Energy, when attached to a Single Strike Pokemon, is either fighting or dark or both at the same time, and you get plus 20. So accelerating 3, now hitting for 330. That's a lot of damage. Yes, we are going into like 270 HP damage, but nothing is actually one-shotting us anymore, so it's not that bad to go into that range because we can just get 2-shot like everyone else, play the same game, set up Single Strike Urshifu. Now, Single Strike Urshifu V is also really good because you can use Laser Focus using either Single Strike Energy or Fighting to search your deck for 2 fighting energy and attach them to this Pokemon. So if you go second, you can really just set up your board like right away, and it's really, really good. That's why there's 4 Houndour and 4 Single Strike Urshifu, because we do need those down turn 1. We do absolutely need them. There's 2 copies of Crobat because we're going to need extra dig at certain points. We're going to need to find that Urn of Vitality. We're going to need to find that Scroll of Scorns. We're going to need to find those Houndoom pieces in the first 2 turns, kind of get the board set up. So this deck is a little bit more setup oriented than the other decks we've seen in the current standard format. So having the extra Crobat means we need to dig a little bit further and get a little bit, go a little bit harder than we need to. Tyranitar V is another Single Strike Pokemon that we thought was going to shine really hard. I thought Tyranitar V was going to be a very strong card. I made videos on it. I thought this card was going to be nuts. Unfortunately, because of its high energy cost and the fact that everything else is just better than it right now, it kind of fell to the wayside again. But now that Shadow Rider Calyrex is out, that means there is a weakness typing that we are hitting for. This deck has a glaring Psychic type weakness, as you can already tell, and Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX will be in the opposing format. If they're playing Alchemy, we can one-shot that with Urshifu. If they're coming up with a Shadow Rider, we're going to use Tyranitar, which is also a 2-prizer as opposed to a 3-prizer, to kind of swing that trade, and we can accelerate the energies onto it, and we can attack with either Cragalanche or Single Strike Crush to kind of take out these Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAXs. Now, the 280 damage or whatever we're getting from the energies does not matter necessarily, but we have to keep in mind, one, discarding top 4 cards of our deck is a little bit annoying, but we are getting the one shot and kind of playing the game from that point. So 2 Tyranitar are in the deck simply because we can kind of have an out to this typing. There's 4 copies of Marnie, 4 copies of Research, and 3 copies of Boss. This is probably your most standard staple engine, like I've mentioned it time and time and time again. If you don't know what to play in the upcoming post-rotation format, you don't know what you want to do, just literally throw 4 copies of Marnie, 4 copies of Boss, and like 2 to 3 copies of, or 4 copies of Marnie, 4 copies of Research, 2 to 3 copies of Boss, and all of a sudden you have a deck. Like, it's not going to be that hard. Just make that play, figure it out, and then, I mean, if you want to tech and throw in some tech supporters, obviously the Inteleon lines, like for example in post-rotation Rapid Strike Urshifu, I think that Raihan is going to be very good with the next set. I think like one of supporters like Cheryl, I'm a huge proponent of, obviously, when you have a way to dig them out and search for them. So in a deck like this where you have no way to search out these one-of supporters or make really good use of it, there really is no reason to play one of those one-of supporters unless it's like maybe a Phoebe or something. I don't know. You have no way to use them accurately. Like, you have no way to dig for them besides going Crobat or Research the turn before and just hoping to have it in your hand, which I think is like not the best plan ever. There's going to be 4 copies of Evo Incense and 4 copies of Quick Ball. I think that's going to become the very standard of our standard format as well. Quick Ball is like just an absolute beast of a card. It gets everything we need every single turn. There is no problems there at any given point. And then we have Evolution Incense, which, you know, is really strong for getting our Houndooms, our Single Strike VMAXs. And I think every single deck in the post-rotation format has some form of a setup, either it be in a VMAX or Stage 1 or Stage 2 line that it sets up with. So Evolution Incense really just becomes kind of the ringer behind a lot of these decks. Now that we don't have Pokemon communication anymore, Evolution Incense kind of reigns free. Before, you have to make a decision of how many Evo Incense and how many Pokemon communication am I playing, but now that decision is kind of taken away from you. There's 4 Urns of Vitality. Shuffle 2 Single Strike energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Urn is like really pivotal because this is like special charge basically, but this kind of gives us a late game out to using more than one GMAX 1 blow, setting up more than one Tyranitar, kind of getting our energy onto the board. You probably never need more than 2 Urns in a game, but having 4 just means you can actually find it when you need it. Card's very, very good. There's 2 copies of Switch and 1 copy of Air Balloon. Now, the only time you kind of get screwed is if, I guess, you open Houndoom and it gets stuck in the active spot. But you can also just accelerate 1 energy or attach an energy to Houndour and retreat. You don't really want to really care about retreating. You'll probably have multiple attackers on the board at any given point, and you can accelerate energy to retreat. So, not needed. 1 copy of Single Strike Scroll of Scorn. Furious Anger, 10 plus 10 for each damage count of this Pokemon. So if your Urshifu VMAX is like at 320 HP or like 310 HP or something, you could literally accelerate, or not accelerate, but have 1 Single Strike energy onto it. And now you're also one-shotting any VMAX. Your return blow, it's literally just like a gigantic punish for Pokemon or stuff that like kind of puts you in a position where they don't want to one-shot you entirely or make a play the following turn. For example, Rapid Strike could put you at 310, trying to ping you with Inteleon on the next turn, but you just slam down this scroll. All of a sudden, you've got a one-shot on their main Pokemon. Very, very strong card. Also, you can throw it on one of these guys. Also very, very strong. Tower of Darkness is an okay stadium. I don't think this deck has a good stadium you can play, but Stadium Wars are going to become prevalent, so you want to be able to, answer that. And Tower of Darkness is like a, when you play it down, you may discard a Single Strike card to draw 2. And, well, that's really good in some situations when we just need to dig a little bit deeper, get a bit further. We have 4, 8, 12, 15, 16, 17, 21, 25. We have 25 or 27. We have 27, 28. We have 28 cards that are Single Strike labeled. That is almost half our deck. The rest of the cards in our deck search for cards anyway. So sometimes like an extra Urn in our hand is going to be a dead card. The extra Houndoom in our hand is going to be a dead card. Why not make it a situation where we can draw 2 more cards? Plain and simple. There are 4 capture energy because turn 1, setting up your board is so important. Getting down like 2 Houndour is absolutely crucial. If you don't get 1 or 2 Houndour down on turn 1, you're already in a really bad spot. Because by turn 2, you need to be either attacking with GMAX 1 blow or beatdown or something. Like, you need to be doing something on turn 2 because you can't just sit there as the pace of the game is increasingly getting like faster and faster and faster. If you go first, maybe you have some leeway, but capture energy is just one of those cards that's very, very strong for setting up your board. 4 Single Strike energy and then 4 fighting energy kind of goes to without say. Fighting energy, a lot of people have also been playing stone energy in their lists. just because I think Stone Energy gives you that little bit of a resilience into the damage that's coming in, so you can keep that one Urshifu VMAX alive a little bit longer, and playing a second scroll, which is another option you guys could do. I personally think fighting energy is just better because you can use laser focus and get those energies onto the board on turn 2 if you're going, or turn 1 if you're going second, which I think is just invaluable in the long term. This deck is really cool. I'm hoping Single Strike is a good deck because I really like the concept and I really like the archetype of it. It's very linear, straightforward, just kind of a beatdown style deck. But we won't know until the 10K tournament how things shake up. I will do a report afterwards, a little bit of a preview as well if you guys want. The day before, like the Friday night. I used to do previews on YouTube a lot for regionals, and people used to really like them. I don't know if that's still the case. Obviously, there's no IRL events coming up right now, but a pre and like a post event like analysis is something I want to do for sure. If you guys enjoy the content, obviously I've already mentioned this a couple times. Subscribe, I would really appreciate that. Like the video, leave a comment to beat the algorithm. I don't really like asking for comments or likes and stuff like that in the algorithms. It's something I need to get over as a content creator, but I do appreciate everyone who is giving me support. It really means the world to me. So there probably won't be a video on Monday. I will be out of town. But when I'm back on Wednesday, there'll be another video. Or I'll do one on Tuesday to kind of make up for it when I get back. But thank you guys for watching. I am live on twitch.tv pretty much every other day, every day. I've been playing Pokemon Unite recently, but Pokemon TCG will be back soon. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love. And until...